Are we seeing cracks within Ferrari? Has Mick Schumacher found his groove in Formula One? All this and more on today's sprint race. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Formula One Digest. I'm your host, Tyson De Silva, and today I'm reacting to the sprint race that happened today for the Austrian Grand Prix. And what a race, guys! It started off really, really weird with Fernando Alonso not even starting the race. He was a DNS as he had a number of car issues. It sounds so far like it was a battery or an engine problem. And, things have been very up and down for Alpine as a whole. Their reliability, I think, should be more in question, as there have been multiple races where where the cars have had issues. Esteban Ocon was a DNF last week in the British Grand Prix, and it just kind of begs the question as to what are they doing that is causing the cars to not finish the race, or in this case, not even start the race. I'm sure we're going to get more about that throughout the race weekend, but for now, as far as we know, it was an engine issue due to his battery power. In other news, there was a lot of action today during the sprint race, primarily between Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. It was an intense battle between the two to start. And this kind of begs the question as to whether or not we are seeing cracks within the Ferrari team. A lot of people within the team were reportedly not happy with the decisions that were made during the British Grand Prix, which eventually led to Carlos Sainz getting his first win in Formula One and Charles Leclerc finishing in P4. Charles Leclerc hasn't been on a podium within 2 months, and now he finished P2 in the sprint race. This is his opportunity to finally kind of get back into the championship. He's been on an absolute cold streak ever since I think it was like Imola where the bad luck started, and it just hasn't stopped for him since. But we're seeing now Carlos Sainz, who just won his first F1 race. Now he's kind of pushing Charles to the limit, saying, you know what, if you're not going to perform, I'm going to try and outperform you. And that's going to be really interesting to see, because obviously they are two young guys that are locked in for the next 2 years. And Mattia Binotto has a lot of work to do in order to manage these two drivers who both want success within Formula One. On top of this was not the only close racing we got between the two Ferraris. We had a Schumacher versus Lewis, but it wasn't Michael, it was Mick Schumacher, fresh off of his first F1 points last week at the British Grand Prix. He is now in P9 for tomorrow's race, but he put up an absolute amazing fight against Lewis Hamilton throughout the race, who was gaining on him and trying to pass him on all different levels of the race, and eventually got past due to Mick Schumacher losing his DRS on Kevin Magnussen. But this has to put into question whether Haas now has two drivers that can help contend for the midfield. They've been on a bit of a cold spell. They finished in the double points last week, and now they look primed to get more points within this race weekend. Mick was absolutely a monster. He got his elbows out and told Lewis, "I'm not. If you're gonna pass me, you're gonna have to do it the hard way, because he's fresh off his first points and he's feeling confident, and he looked confident in that Haas car." On top of that, we had our race winner in Max Verstappen, who finished P1, the same position that he started in at the start of the race, and it was honestly a pretty easy race for him overall. He had a bit of a fight with the Ferraris at the start of the race, but then after that, it was pretty smooth sailing and a very easy victory for the defending world champion. His teammate, on the other hand, had an absolute monster of a drive. I wish that they did put I really wish that they did have a driver of the day for the sprint races, because I believe it would absolutely go to Sergio Perez, or maybe even Mick Schumacher for his defense. But Sergio Perez, what a start to his weekend. It wasn't really going his way. He started in P13 in this race after getting a penalty in qualifying for crossing the line fully in Q2, and went from P13 to P5 with a monster drive where he passed the likes of Esteban Ocon, both of the Hasses. He himself also had a nice little duel with the two Hasses. And yeah, no, he's been he was an absolute monster, and he's put himself in a great position to get a podium or even potentially win the Austrian Grand Prix. This is Red Bull's home race, and this is a race that they're very well positioned to win. It'll be interesting to see how everything unfolds tomorrow. Until then, thank you guys very much for watching. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're going to be rocking the TikTok over the next few weeks, and we will see you guys tomorrow after the race.